Go on to our next debate, which you'll be pleased to hear is focused on Man United big win.
Another one.
I know, yeah.
Again.
Big win for you in the week, wasn't it? 3-0 in the Europa League semi-final first leg. Lots to chat about the players and the squad. So we've tasked Cams. We've given Cams a sort of managerial, sporting director role. Role. What we
I think so. Sporting director. Cams sporting director. Yeah, there's a lot of chat, wasn't there, about which of the players that got over the line on Thursday will remain a key component of that side. So that's exactly what we're going to look at today. Which players will remain? We're going to build out Ruben Amorim's perfect 11 for next season, including signings. So let's start in goal, shall we?
Yes.
Does Andre Onana remain?
He does not.
Huh?
He does not. He does not remain, unfortunately. I think Man United will be looking for a keeper this summer, especially because he doesn't have any real competition at the moment as well. So you can get a bit complacent. There's links with him moving to Saudi. And then you've got Joan Garcia from Espanyol, you know, first saves in the...
Put some respect on this man's name, man. He plays for Spain.
Yeah, he's Spanish.
Yeah, come on, man.
I know he ain't seen no Joan Garcia.
What have you heard? What have you heard?
Wasn't he saying Onana's better than Edison just 2 weeks ago?
On this show.
On this show?
Correct.
You see, I said this season is debatable. It's debatable.
No, but that is right. You had him in the combined 11, didn't you?
But now you got him dropped and sold for...
Yes, for
Joan
Garcia.
Joan, okay, yeah.
Joan Garcia. You guys gonna know, man. Everybody in Europe wants this keeper. Real Madrid, Arsenal, Chelsea. Everybody is interested in him. He's a top goalkeeper, and he'll prove himself. You know what I mean? And last time Man United went to Spain and bought a goalkeeper, he ended up being our keeper for
23 years old as well. And I think the biggest bonus here is that he has a reported €25 million release clause. So Manchester United, with a bit of financial issues, aren't going to be able to spend loads of money on loads of players.
All my thinking here is financially realistic. You know, I tapped into the Ineos mindset. That's what it's all about.
Made the most saves in La Liga this season. He is a keeper that's had a good return. So it'll be interesting to see what United do.
Let's go.
Joan in goal.
Oh, wow, OK.
Wow, it's a terrible start with stickers.
Right, we usually go with fullbacks next, placement. But we're going to obviously do centre-backs because of the system that Amorim plays. So I believe you're utilising a back three.
This is tough, man.
This is really hard. But I've gone with Lissandro when he gets fit to start the season.
Left side
centre-back, because I would actually be kind of disappointed if Man United spend our money on defenders. I think right now in any position, that's probably the one that we have the most depth. We've still got Aiden Heaven, we've got Maguire, we've got Delap, we've got Yoro. There's options at the back, and if you need to, you've got Mazraoui, and even further that, you can even go Dallo right centre-back. So you got Luke Shaw. Yeah. So I think Man United really need to start scoring more goals, be a bit more creative. So I want the money to go there. So I'm not going to make too many changes to the defenders. Okay. So Lissandro, if he's fit, left centre-back. I think he started to understand the role. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, just before he got injured, he looked like he really found an understanding of that role, didn't he?
And then, going centre-back again, the redemption king.
Yeah.
We're going Harry Yamal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harry Yamal.
Maguire.
Harry Maguire.
He's popping up with goals. He's whipping balls in from the right. He's got everything, isn't he?
I'm telling you, he's Harry Kane. He's Harry Yamal. He's everything. But Harry Maguire, right now, he is our hero. He's popping up in big moments. And, you know, of course, with everything that he's gone through in terms of the criticism, he got stripped of captaincy. His redemption has been one that I think every footballer should look at and see that you should never give up, really.
Him versus De Ligt, maybe, for that central role? Where would you come down on the side of, Fuad?
I think, as much as I like De Ligt, I think Maguire has actually earned the role. And every time he's kind of played in that central position, I feel like he's the one that kind of looks most assured, offers an attacking threat as well. And as you said, I think just the story of kind of where he was maybe 3-4 years ago, getting stripped off the captaincy, getting dropped from England, and the way he's always just kind of persevered, I think a lot of players can take from that.
The system suits him as well, like looking at actually utilising Harry Maguire in a back three. If you think of how well he played for England in the Euros when England played a back three, how well he's playing for Man United, they play a back three. It almost feels like this system is perfect for him.
It allows him to show more of his ball playing ability, and that's the reason why I went with him over De Ligt, because I think De Ligt is better on the right-hand side, right centre-back. I think when he plays in the middle, he hasn't got that kind of diagonal pass or that step forward like a Harry Maguire. So I'm going to give Harry Maguire the nod as the centre one.
And then who's your third centre-back to start?
And I got to go with the boy wonder, man. Absolutely top-level talent, Lenny Yoro, and you can see why Real Madrid really wanted him in the summer. You can see why Man United, some people may say, spent over the odds, but I think this is going to end up looking like a bargain. Tall, athletic, gangly, as you mentioned earlier. Like, his understanding of tackles, he steps into midfield. I think that's something that he's starting to show more and more now, how good he is on the ball. And, okay, the first start of the season, he's 19-year-old coming into the Premier League. He struggled a little bit, but he's starting to understand the league now. And I think we are looking at one of the leading centre-backs in the Premier League in the future with Lenny.
I don't think people appreciate how hard it is to come to the Premier League at 19 and miss the first 3 months with injury, whilst also trying to adapt to a new system entirely that changes from the one you've worked in pre-season with Erik ten Hag to then being about 3 and still look consistent.
It's not just that as well, the elements outside of the pitch, new country, new language, new culture. At that age, you know, there's a lot of factors that go into that, and then dealing with an injury. Just quickly, what would you have as Cams puts him up as your starting back 3 from a neutral perspective?
I think that I would go with that same back 3. It gives you the right balance. With Maguire a bit of ball playing, Lisandro can play with the ball as well, but Euro just gives you that kind of defensive assurance and that legs at the back, in my opinion. Top talent.
Okay, the wing-backs.
Yeah, so not much changes right now because a lot of my money, if I was behind, is going into the attack. So you got Amad Diallo. I think, personally, I think his best performances have come from right wing-back. I think when you see Amad in that position, he gets the ball and he's allowed to face forward. You know, he's allowed to run at defenders. And I think people get too fixated on the term back when you say wing back, but he's really a winger. You know what I mean? He's really a winger. So when he's in this position, we have creativity. He offers a threat that unfortunately Diallo doesn't offer. So I want him in this position, running at defenders and allowing space for our 10s, for a Bruno Fernandes as well, to get on the ball. Because when you're thinking about somebody that can get you goals, get you assists from wide, you got to think about that. That's a threat. Yeah. He scored a hat-trick from right wing-back. A hat-trick. He wasn't in the 10. He was right wing-back when he scored a hat-trick. So for me, Amad Diallo, one of our most key players as well.
And I think when you pick the ball up from deeper areas like that as well, sometimes running at it just allows you for that little 1-2. And he's so great at that, I think, in terms of linking up with the Brunos, popping it off, getting the ball back, and he's going to capitalise on that.
I agree. You want him facing up defenders, don't you? So let's get him a right wing back. Left wing back.
There we go.
Keeping this one.
I know you don't like this. I don't know you don't like this one.
I do. I think he's a good player. Very young, though. I just think that in a perfect 11 is potentially, if we're imagining everybody's fully fitness, is Luke Shaw a potential option in that left wing back role?
Unfortunately, I cannot imagine a world in which Luke Shaw is fit. You know,
that's fair enough.
I just can't. It's been so long where we've needed him fit and he's not fit. So I think Dorgu, all right, he's been inconsistent so far.
Though,
he's very raw. But I do think there's been games where if you see the deliveries that he's put in the box, I'm just thinking, somebody get on the end of those. You know what I mean? I think he could have had 3-4 assists so far. So I think he's going to grow. I think coming into Manchester United mid-season, after all the turmoil we're going through, Ruben Amorim's first signing, I do think there's a lot of pressure on him. I think he's, as I said, I think he's talented. He hasn't been able to show it so far yet, but I'm thinking maybe give him a pre-season, get familiar with the league again. And I think we can see it. He's only 20 years old, man.
So it's way too soon to judge.
Cool, stick him up.
So he's there.
Honestly, I think he's been good since he's come in.
Okay, midfielders, let's go with... I mean, this next man is a dead cert, isn't he?
I mean, this is obvious.
Yeah, of course.
Put him up.
I mean, we spoke about him earlier. I think not only... We know what Bruno offers in terms of goals and assists, but now the thing about Bruno is that I can look at him now and say, oh, you had a good game, even if he doesn't get you a goal and assist. Or when he gets that goal, it's like, yeah, you know, you deserve that because you've been so good. The energy that he shows, the availability, of course, the leadership, and it's just that kind of calm that he brings to the team now. Sometimes I'm seeing Man United booting the ball all over the place. And I used to be like, Bruno's part of that. And now he just gets the ball, drops his shoulder, passes it back, gets it back, and he just gives us a little bit of respite. So I just think all round he's been brilliant for United this season. He's really stepped up, and a lot of rival clubs, you know, they're saying they wish they had a Bruno.
Do you think he's better a little bit deeper? I kind of think 100%. He's better in the 8 than the 10 in this specific system. I like the goal scoring ability he's got. He's always had that and the creativity. But when he's in that 8, he controls the whole game.
Yeah, and I think when he is further forward, he's got more of a gunslinger mentality where he's just kind of popping balls left, right, and centre, whereas in the 8, he kind of has to play with a bit more composure.
And it's not only that. I think in the 8, he's one of the only players in our team at the moment that as soon as he gets the ball, he wants to play it forward.
Yeah.
He can break lines as well. And I think Bruno's, one of his weaknesses is receiving the ball back to play. And when you're playing in the 10, You have to receive the ball in the half-time loads, and I don't think that's Bruno's biggest strength. But in that 8 area, honestly, I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, he's created the most chances in the Premier League this season, which would dictate the fact that he's best in that position, dictating play.
Who's alongside him?
So, alongside him...
You've gone with a signing?
Yes, I've gone with a signing. I've gone with Edison from Atalanta. Manchester United are heavily linked with him. He's got energy, he's got legs, he's good on the ball. Now, this is a bit of interesting kind of profile because he's not necessarily going to sit at all times. He also likes to get forward. He's very box-to-box. If you look at the term box-to-box, Edison is one of them. So I think with him next to Bruno, the legs that he can offer, I think it can be a very combative midfield with alongside Bruno. I'm really trying to see where Ruben Amorim is trying to go with this next midfielder next to Bruno because of the 3 centre-backs, is he looking for somebody that can still get up and down, or is he going to look for somebody that's just going to sit there and allow a Bruno to go more forward and the 10s to do their thing? So right now, the links are heavy with Edison. I've been impressed every single time I've watched him. Literally, like there's some players that you watch and you're like, are they as good as, they've been spoken about? But him, every single time I've watched him, I've been impressed. My only concern is Atalanta signings. They seem to, I don't know, they're not really, they seem to...
No Kobbie Mainoo?
Kobbie Mainoo, I think right now in this system, any honest United fan, I think that's my favourite player at the club. But we're still learning what's his best role at the club in this formation, in this system. I want to see him get a pre-season again. He's been unfit this year, but is he a 10 in this system? Is he an 8? We're really kind of finding out and learning. So I don't think that's a problem, though. You shouldn't have to rely and burn out young players like a Kobbie Mainoo. So I'm hoping next season he's going to be fit, he's going to get more games. But right now, we're still trying to learn what his best role is in the team, I think.
Let's get him up then. And then you were talking about saving your cash for the forward areas. So
is this where we see the signings?
Let's see how many new players, how many remainers we've got.
There we go. We got Ryan.
A man that comes up a lot on this show.
With
every club tries to get him.
That's first signings I remember I brought as well.
This is the definition of special. Look in the dictionary what it says special is, yeah? Better, greater, or otherwise different from the usual. That is what he is.
Is that actually the definition? Did you look at that before you came on?
That is the
He actually
I love that. Fair play.
Google.
Fair play.
Sat in his taxi,
Googled the definition. Other search engines do exist.
That is the definition of Ryan Shackleton.
Wow.
This guy, I mean, he is, for me, like, you're looking at arguably, okay, there's Lamine Yamal, of course, the talent, but you're looking at natural footballing talent. I think he's right up there with the best in the world. Oof. He's ambidextrous. He can go both ways. He's technical ability, his manipulation. And not only that, he's scoring goals this season. His assist numbers are brilliant. And have you ever seen a player... When was the last time you saw a player, Joe, that has come and that's been linked to Man United and said, you know what, this is my stage, this is my audition. What he did at Old Trafford to our players, he made us look, some of our, these are seasoned pros, they have families at home. He made some of them look like it was ridiculous what he was doing on the pitch. He's so
The one thing I said about Ryan Shackleton, obviously, ceiling's crazy and the numbers, but he's been available for a few windows now at a reported 20, 25 million. Why has nobody signed him?
Well, I do know that he was obviously linked with Dortmund.
Heavily.
And I think he made the last-minute decision to stay at Lyon. So him making that decision, of course, maybe he's French, maybe he wants to stay there and win, maybe hopefully win things with Lyon. But I think this summer is the time that he's going to move on. And the thing is, sometimes you're having a good season, you don't want to just rush and leave, because he goes to Dortmund, he has to stay there for 3 years. Who knows what jump he can make in the summer? And I think Manchester United, if you're looking for a special player, we play 10s. Not many teams in football right now play 10s. They play with the 3 midfield, 2 8s. We play 10s. This is the most talented 10 in the game right now.
I think in previous season he'd shown flashes, whereas this year he's got a little bit more consistency, I feel like. And you don't want to make that jump too soon, I feel like, where it doesn't really work out for you. I think he's done well in biding his time. He's still very young as well.
21 years of age.
21 years of age, staying at his hometown club, and I think just wait for the next big move.
Yeah, 8 goals, 10 assists, joint most assists in League 1.
Good shout, I think.
190 progressive passes as well, which is 34 more than any other Lyon player having a great season.
The other 10.
The next one, a player that's heavily linked. Cunha, I'm a massive fan of his, and a player that I'm imagining as a United fan you want to see arrive.
100%. This guy, I think you look, is it 15 Premier League goals this season?
15 goals, but 6 assists as well
6 assists.
for Wolves.
Yesterday, I was watching him against City, just popping off shots left, right, centre, creating chances. He's just a brilliant footballer, and one thing that I really love about him, forget about how good he is on the ball, it's the ability to drive with it. It's not just his shooting, it's his ability to drive. He can run through the centre of the pitch, and he's so good on the half turn. He understands that role of the 10, you know, that left 10 that we are desperately looking for. He fully understands it. And what I love as well is how it feels like he really wants to come and join the club. I think this is a signing we will definitely make. I think it will happen. And I'm so looking forward to it. One thing about me is that I always think that if you want to start a rebuild, you know, Premier League signings, I think you always need to get somebody from Premier League that understands the league, that's already done it in this league. And I think Cunha will be a perfect one. You know, if it was my dream team, it'll probably be all Premier League signings.
Are you surprised? This sounds weird to say that Man United are going to be the team to get Cunha, because I feel like a lot of clubs have been interested in Cunha. He's had a huge uprise. We were linking him to clubs like Arsenal in January. And Man United are going to finish, you know...
I'm not surprised, to be fair. I think there was videos of him last summer where he was back home in Brazil and people were asking him, are you going to United? And he seemed kind of excited. And even though United are going through arguably their toughest and worst period, he seems to almost want to thrive on wanting to be the guy that brings them back. And I actually quite respect that mentality. So I actually think he'll be a good fit.
Okay, stick him up. Final player then, and it looks like another signing.
Yes.
In a position that a lot of people talk about United needing a striker. There's a lot of names linked. You're going with Liam Delap.
I'm going with Liam Delap. Again, I think financially, this is one that makes sense. I mean, he's got a 30 million release clause now that Ipswich have been relegated. I think it's going to be a really tough battle to get him, because I know Chelsea are interested. There's links with Newcastle. So trying to convince Delap to join the club is not going to be easy, especially if Chelsea get Champions League football. But, you know, that's why we need to win the Europa, you know what I'm saying, Joe? But other than that, I think Liam Delap, again, somebody that's scored goals in the league. He's, you know, it's not only about his goal scoring, it's the way he occupies back fours. The guy he runs channels. I think he's got the most carries if you look at the most carries in the Premier League, it's like 10 wingers and Liam Delap. He can really run in transition. And we know Man United as well. We're a team that like to play on transition as well. So I think this is a player that can really make an impact. And when I'm looking at my team, it's got a lot of attackers on the pitch. A lot of people are saying, this is his first season, you know, in the league, scoring goals. How do you know he's going to replicate it at United? The creativity, you know, the people around him. And I think I have no doubt about this guy scoring goals in the league. I think he'll score goals wherever he goes in the Premier League. So Liam Delap is one that I was a big fan of.
I'd agree with that.
Do you buy into the argument, either of you at all, that like United need an experienced striker? They've also got Chido coming through the academy. They've got Højlund, who's 22, Xerxes, who can play as a 10 and a 9, 23. Do United need an experienced goal scorer to come in? Because that shirt is so heavy up front.
How many are out there, though?
I was leaning towards, initially, you know, I was leaning towards an Osimhen. You know, you got Gyokeres as well. I think Gyokeres is someone that, if we win the Europa League, we will go in for him. Osimhen, the reports about 400,000 a week, 350k. I just don't think Ineos and Man United want to move down that avenue. So I think Liam Delap or Gyokeres will be a Man United.
I think that's a good point as well, because the experience argument is one argument, but I also think there's the financial aspect of what is attainable from a profit and sustainability, and the fact that we know he's got that release clause. Obviously, they've got relegated. He's a very attainable goal-scoring Premier League striker at that price. It's your team anyway. You've gone with him, so stick him up and let us know what you think of that home. That is Cam's perfect Ruben Amorim 11.
Perfect is a bit.
Okay,
I'm trying to be realistic here.
What we briefed him with in the week. This is 11. Anyway.
Realistically,
realistic.
Let us know what you think of that at home anyway.